iota of wickedness. And so for everybody that still carry of wickedness in their hearts onto the new year, that's what we want to talk about today. We want to say, stop the wickedness. For any politician that is still carrying wickedness in their hearts towards the people, that forgets that the reason why God gave them an opportunity to lead is so that they can add impact and value to the lives of people. We want to tell them to stop the wickedness. It is because of the wickedness that we cannot see the dividends of democracy with a large amount that is being budgeted for projects. But they are more concerned about their pockets. And they are more concerned about how they will manipulate the people. 2026 is a prelude year to election year. And next year, you will start to see a lot of their wickedness because it will start. Things they didn't do before, all the money they have packed in one corner, it is next year they will start to bring it out because it's a prelude to election year. By February 2027, we'll have another election. But please stop the wickedness. All sorts of shenanigans and evil that they will normally do, they will heighten in the new year. But please, I want to beg these our leaders. Stop the wickedness. Stop the wickedness. Because there's a God that is watching you. That bad thing that you are doing, that you think is secret, God will expose you. There used to be a song back in the days that goes to us that bad thing where you they do, where you think say na security, yo, listen, make I tell you now, somebody is watching you because Baba God do not they sleep, oh, Baba God do not they slumber. Oh. It's going to be a year of a lot of the plans of wicked and wickedness by the political class and by the evil class. But I want to beg you, stop the wickedness because you'll be exposed. Yes, you might have been getting away with it, but stop it. Your end is there. And trust me, a year before election, that's when a lot of the wickedness used to come out. Because it is only people that think that they are all in all, and they can win elections all by themselves, that do this wickedness. If you are truly there to serve the people, wickedness will not be in your mind, will not be in your soul, will not be in your hearts. But please, the message today is stop the wickedness. There's too much wickedness. There's too much wickedness. And I know you're also planning to perpetrate a higher level of wickedness in 2026. But please, stop the wickedness. Let people have a good time. Hello.
Oh,
Bless you. Manjam.
Mind you, on the line, Rufai Oseni,
Bless
my
you.
big bro, the CEO of Rufai Oseni Foundation. That is your strength. I'm proud of you, brother.
Bless
Thank
you,
you very much.
Manjem. You were the one that executed the Nasarawa IDP outreach. God bless you for your work.
And you
That,
too,
that we just did together. We went to help the people there. Our message today, Manjem, is that they should stop the wickedness. Manjem, you traveled on a bike to that Nasarawa IGP camp. That was how much on bike? Over 3,000 or 4,000 on bike. People are suffering. Manjem, no water. Manjem, we've also done outreach together this year in Duromi camp in Abuja.
Yes.
They are building a house close to that IDP camp worth hundreds of millions, but people are suffering. People are suffering. Lives have been lost. There's too much wickedness, Manjem. There's too much wickedness. I'm not saying don't build more, don't build centers. People are building malls with the same money that was in the budget for them to be able to build the lives of the people. But they stole this money. They stole this money.
Thank God for
next year they want to start collecting tax, but they forget that accountability comes with taxation. But you will see they will still collect the tax, but they will, when you ask for accountability, they will say you should shut up your mouth.
That's true.
There's too much wickedness, but they are collecting your money. In fact, as you speak, they are already collecting our money. Because for everybody that works 9 to 5 in this country, you pay something they call PE. You're already paying tax. Every portion being taken out of your salary. So
when I heard about this taxation, even whenever you have when your contract or your contract is awarded to you, there is something. Taxation has been in the system for long.
Yes.
They remove that. What about the charges they remove from our accounts whenever you make transfer?
A lot of tax.
Taxation as well. If not even making it formal.
Electronic transfer levy. They say next year they will turn away to stamp duty, but you don't want to be accountable.
How will I get back to people now? So do you remember that day I went to Nasarawa? Thank God the villagers, that was why God, there was one woman there, Rufai, she has never met you before. This woman was praying for you. Immediately when they saw you on video, I called you on live video when you saw them. Rufai, I was sharing here. This was the village. These people live in Bama from Bondo all the way to that place. They are going to start over many years from there. They were chased away from their ancestral land. Thank God that people like you that day, that look at the gift we share among them, they don't have water. I was there that day. They said there is no drugs, no medication.
My joy in the new year will be if we can do borehole for them there. I don't know how God is going to do it, but we can do borehole for them in that IDP camp because that IDP camp is not like a village in Nasarawa. If we can at least do borehole for them, I will be so happy.
God will use you. We send everything else, and God will use you to do that. But you see,
let me start praying towards it. How much is it to do borehole in that area?
No. Well, I will try and make some inquiries. I don't know, but I know the one I have recently is about 3 million above. So, but if anything we are going to do concerning that, I will let you. I will make. One thing is that find your people in that place. Immediately, those children, they were happy to see. They are hearing about you. Even the man, they were happy that you show concern about them. So you understand.
We'll show more.
No, serious.
We'll show more. That's what God has given us the chance to do. Our life is supposed to be for others.
Well, so when they saw you, they were happy that you remember them. So please, Rufai, let's see how we are going to see how we can get them drugs by January. Nutrition. So if we can work on that, God will help us out. So thank you very much, Rufai. God will continue to bless you, man.
Bless you.
Proud of you, sir.
Bless you. So to do IGP camp, what's it called? Manjem is selling us 3 million. We'll see how we can start working towards it. We'll see how we can start working towards it. At least the IDP camp in Nasarawa State, he will get the details. Let's see how we can start pushing towards it. In fact, let me even let's ask for his account details. I'll tell him to let's start raising money to his account details. We'll see if we can. The essence of our life is what we give back. That's what I keep telling people. No amount is too small. Essence of our life is what we give. Hello, Manjem.
Dear customer, you do not have.
Okay, so I don't have credit on this number. But I think he's probably joining us on our live. And like all of you do not know, I've never met Manjem one-on-one. He was a convert on this show, was a convert to our great work and vision. He used to join us on our live. And today, we're partnering with his foundation, Icon of Hope, to be able to execute all of these projects. That's just it. So, but maybe as from next Sunday, we'll start donating towards that. What's it called? We are going to do it together. We also have now money to it. We need to be able to get them a borehole. We need to get them a borehole and do that project. Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, morning, sir.
Morning, great to have you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Okay,
Eh? Living in peace. Speak up, my brother. Hello, Livy? Speak up. I can't hear you properly.
Okay, let me call back, sir. I don't know.
No, go ahead. I think I can hear you. Go ahead, Livy.
Okay, sir. So
Yeah.
I will need your help. I'm having a very
What's the problem?
I'm having a
Hell, what health issue is that?
I tested
You tested positive for hepatitis. So you need your drugs and everything for hepatitis, right? So there are medical tests. Okay. You tested positive for hepatitis. You want to do medical tests. Livy, is this your number? 0906 502 2879. Is that it?
Yes.
Which hepatitis did you test for? Hepatitis B or C? A? B or B?
Yes, sir.
Hepatitis B. Okay, please reach out to Livy 0906 502 2879. All right. Let's reach out to Venus, the tested positive for hepatitis B. So let's see what we can do for him. Huh? Bless you, my brother. It is well. We'll see what we can do. It's a family here. We'll keep giving. Keep seeing what we can do. Somebody also sent me a message. Yeah, this one they've been sending me. Some charity has been sending me messages. I want to check this message and just read it out. They said, in fact, I posted it this morning before I went to sleep. I've been a little bit under the weather. That's why I started a little bit late. In fact, I was sleeping when I was woken up. I think I have been down with fever, malaria, and all that. So necrolizing fasciitis, chronic infection, needs help. Lima and Bamang, 0809 298 1397. 0809 298 1397. They need help. So they wanted a donation. I posted it on my page anyway, my Twitter. So we keep amplifying for them. Hello, how are you?
Manjem, sorry, I just said my head fine.
Okay, so Manjem, so as we're saying, I said you said around 3 million that be because people are saying let's see what we can donate towards them, around 3 million to be able to aid that borehole project. So Can you call an account now? Because you'll be the one to execute it, and you'll be the one to do video for us and everything. I will just post it on the page when we get it done.
Okay.
Can you call an account number?
00
Yes.
34.
Is this your what's it called, account number?
My own.
Okay, your own account. Yeah, because it's your foundation. You can't receive money there because you've not been able to get school money. Hello, Manjem. Hello, Manjem. Hello. Please do want to call us back, Manjem. Right. So he will be the one to execute. We'll see if we can get these people a borehole and see how it goes. Hello. Yeah. I remember we've given your number out. We just hope people will reach out to you. We've given your number out. Remember you now. So call 2 weeks ago. I remember that voice because we gave your number out. You see, all we can do here, I'm not assuring that I'm God or anything that will give help. All we can do is that at least your voice will be heard. That's the most important thing for me. As long as your voice, it's God that will do the rest. It's not me. I don't take glory for everything or anything. It's God that will put it in people's heart. The best we can give you a platform and all of that. The show to be totally about people begging for help. The message too we preached. We want you to comment on it, please. So that will be narrowing it down to a couple of people every week. But let's even focus more on the message. These are more things that edify the spirits. It's not just I need help. I need help. Yes, we'll sort it out. We'd like to also reach out and help a lot of people and do a lot of charity work on the side. But I think the message is also important. Stop the wickedness. That's the message today. And we're saying this to our political class. Stop the wickedness. Let's stand for something that is true. Because, you see, even if you think you are immune because you are close to a politician, they can give you money on the side. One way or the other, it affects all of us. All of these things I preach against come back to bite all of us. And when it comes, may God help all of us. Hello, Manjem?
Yes, sir. The network.
Okay, so give us the reason why you're collecting this money in your account and you have to be accountable to us is because you cannot get money directly to your NGO account because of school yet, right? So that there's total accountability. So call your account so that people can start donating towards the borehole project. Oh yeah.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
00
34 21 53 52.
GT Bank.
GT Bank. What's the name there?
Origo said best.
Okay, best. Origo said. Call it again. And this is for the donations to the IDP camp in Nazareth, to helping them get a borehole. A basic borehole of about 3 million. Call it again.
00
Yes.
34
34 21 53 52.
GT Bank.
GT Bank. So please, in case you are interested, once we end all the lives, both on the Facebook and all of that, all you can just do is to play back the live to be able to get the account, to be able to make the donation or reach out to anybody. Manjem, next Sunday you call and give us account of anything you've gotten so far. Accountability is another thing. So that's just it. So people need to see accountability. So that's
Thank
it.
you very much.
No wahala. No wahala. Bless you. Thanks. Yeah. All right. So please, yes, if you've gotten the account, just write it down. Use it as a donation towards the water project in the IDP camp. And, so that we can all do this together. When I get my own bits in the course of the new year, we'll send to him. It's been a lot of spending here for us. We're still dealing with My foundation is still in the case of someone that has cancer. In fact, we did done the first set of chemo. He needs another round of chemo. We're trying to raise that money. That's going to cost us over 10 million naira, or 10 or over 10 million naira for the second round of chemo. We have to also raise that in the course of the new year. That person too, I've never met him from Adam. He sent me a message. A 31-year-old man said his life is about to come to an end because he doesn't have money to treat cancer. I said, let us try. Then we start to work towards it. So we've done the first beats. They said the cancer is clearing up. He needs another one cycle. So it's just for us to be able to raise that other money. So there's a lot of projects we're raising money for and helping people. Some I put on my page, some I announce on the radio platform here, just to be able to give help to people. I can't do it all. I'm not here. I don't have any political inclination or preference or anything. I just want to help. I mean, if you watch me in advance on my radio shows like this for over 10 years in Lagos, this is what I've been doing since the days of Inspiration FM. The records are there. I mean, as I raise money for people, work with all sorts of people, blind people and everything, just raise money for them. I've just, formalized it through my foundations and things like that, and through my library and my givings and my outreach in the village. But it's not only in the village. We're also doing many things. We're providing skills. Currently, I've been putting forward, I think a portal for people to get jam past questions. We help people with education. We give free AI training. We've done that a couple of times. We've given free graduate workspace training. In fact, this year we've got close to 10,000 people register for all of our trainings. So, sorry, that's what I used to do with all my platforms. So it's a mix-match of everything. Any opportunity I see, I dump it there for you. That's part of our outreach, and people have benefited all over the country from our outreach. All you just need to do is keep following all the pages, the Facebook. We didn't get the what's it called people in today, the TikTok community in today. So sorry we couldn't get you guys in. I pray as you go into the new year, God will help you. He will give you peace. He will give you love. He will give you understanding. But most importantly, the question we should ask is, do not take your wickedness into the new year. You need to stop the wickedness. Reach out, and God will bless you. The program goes is currently going out on my Facebook page, Rufai Oseni, Instagram, Rufai Oseni, and it's also live on terrestrial radio, VOP 90.3 FM. That's terrestrial radio if you tune in Lagos. And on global radio platform on YouTube, VOP 90.3 FM YouTube page is going out there too live. So you can catch it from any part of the world. And many other, radio apps. If you just Google VOP 90.3 FM, you can listen from any part of the world that's going on. So it's going on the multiplex platforms at the same time. So this is global radio for impact. And there are people that join us from every part of the world. God bless you. We'll continue to use our platform for impact. Don't forget, we're giving the ManGems accounts to be able to build in an IDP camp in Nasarawa. Wish you Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. God bless you. I love you. See you in the new year. By His grace, God will protect all of our lives. Let's keep impact alive. I love you. Stop the wickedness and all kind of wickedness in 2026. Amen.
Professor P.L.O. Lumumba is a distinguished scholar and legal luminary, holding a Doctor of Laws in the Law of the Sea from University of Ghent, Belgium, as well as a Master of Laws and Bachelor of Laws from the University of Nairobi. He has received honorary Doctor of Letters degrees from the University of Cape Coast, Ghana, and a Doctor of Science degree from Bells University of Technology here in Nigeria. With a rich background in human rights, humanitarian law, and international humanitarian law, Professor Lumumba has served as an advocate in the high courts of Kenya and Tanganyika, and is a certified mediator. His influence extends beyond the legal realm. Welcome, Professor Lumumba.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. You may resume your seats. I'm a great opponent of lengthy introductions. Let me start by thanking the pastor and his wife, and also appreciating those who have spoken before me and those who are present to listen to our presentations. Without you, we would be talking to ourselves. There is a sense in which much has been said. If it is the history of the continent, slavery that has been mentioned, if it is colonization that has been spoken to, if it is neo-colonization that has been spoken to, if it is in describing the continent of Africa as having been divided so very arbitrarily in Berlin in 1884 and 1885, that has been spoken to. And we have been told so very correctly how that continues to bedevil the continent of Africa and to undermine our attempts at unity. Those of you who are students of history will remember that in 1963 in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and in 1964 in Cairo, Egypt, the debate was, should we redraw the boundaries? It was agreed by the founding fathers then that that would be an exercise in fueling conflict, and that if we were moving towards unity, then redrawing boundaries was unnecessary. The OAU was, of course, founded in 1963, a weak organization which, as it were, introduced the concept of inviolability of boundaries and placed emphasis on sovereignty. We have been told that that could very well be the reason why Africa's growth has been stunted. There are those, and the SMO has told us so very effectively, that upon consultation with the gods, he has been told very useful things, and the gods are right in the revelation that they have made. The gods are right in saying that we have suffered in many ways and continue to do so, and that therefore the post-independence African country or countries are bedeviled by many things. That could be a reason. It has also been said that part of the reason why we have not realized our potential is because we make the wrong choices. And that could very well be true. And my brother who spoke about choices so very well told us that it all rests on the choices that you make. And you who are Christians will remember that at critical moments, even in the Christian tradition, it has always been a question of choices. If you read the book of 1 Kings at chapter 18, when there is conflict in that little place called Israel, Elijah summons them and says, choose you now. If Baal is God, bring the 450 disciples of Baal and the 400 of Asherah who dined with Jezebel. And if God is God, let him be worshipped. If Baal is Baal, let him be worshipped. Perhaps that is the reason why we are where we are. We never make the right choices. We choose Baal when we should be choosing God. There are those who have said possibly And you see this choice if you read the book of Joshua chapter 24, when he calls the Israelites and tells them, choose you now. Do you want to worship the gods whom your ancestors worshipped before they crossed the river, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land you dwell? As for me and my house, we shall serve the Lord. Perhaps we are not serving the gods, and that the gods are angry. And in the anger, they continue to visit pain upon us. So there is a sense in which all and many things have been talked about. But Africa sometimes judges ourselves very harshly and with a jaundiced sense of history. The post-colonial African state, the oldest post-colonial African state is Ghana, 66 years only. Nigeria, 63 years only. And we often forget this very important and immortal word.
Permit me to congratulate the Federal Republic of Nigeria on the occasion of her 65th birthday since she regained her independence from the British colonizers. It is a day that is worthy of reflection, and it is not lost on me that I've been asked to talk about Africa and Nigeria in that context. I speak at a time when it can be said that the continent of Africa is going through a midlife crisis. It is a midlife crisis that is punctuated by the dissatisfaction of young Africans who believe that the promises that were made by the founding fathers and founding mothers have not been fulfilled. It is a demonstration of the fact that there is a lot of work to be done. But it is on an occasion such as this that is also incumbent upon us to remember by a dint of history that the post-colonial African state, as we know them today, were designed to fail. In fact, it is true that the erstwhile colonizers, whether they are sitting in London, England, or in Paris in France, or in Madrid in Spain, or in Lisbon in Portugal, or in Brussels in Belgium, they are waiting for the African countries to collapse that they may write the obituary. The fact that we are here and celebrating 65 years since we regained our independence is a demonstration that we have refused to fulfill the prophecies of the colonizer turned neo-colonizer. But yet, it is also important to remind ourselves that the time has come when we can no longer afford the luxury of attributing our failures to colonization. We have had occasion to do many things, and indeed it can be said that we have done many things, but there is a sense in which we continue to punch below our weight. We must also remind ourselves that it is true that we are not the only peoples who are colonized. There are others who are colonized, others who we may describe as our colonial age mates, and for some reason they appear to be doing better than us. So on this occasion, we must ask ourselves, what is it that we can do better? And the country that must ask that question more than any other country in the continent of Africa is the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The reason why she must do so is because out of every 5 Africans, 1 is a Nigerian. The reason why she must do so is because over 300 million people live within the territory of Nigeria. And I want to submit to Nigeria that the day you do your census properly, you will discover that you are actually 350 million. I look forward to that day when Nigerians will discover their number in this continent. And let us go down to history. Why are we assembled here? Are we assembled here simply because it is a jamboree at which we pat our backs? Are we assembled here simply to remind ourselves that 82 years ago, the Island Club was established? Are we assembled here merely to remind ourselves that 65 years ago, Nigeria regained our independence? Or we are assembled here to do all those, but also to ask difficult and uncomfortable questions? You know, when we talk about Africa, we must also and always remind ourselves that the Africa we are talking about is an Africa that is divided into 54 artificial nations. Some say 55. Some even say 56. Some even say more. But we must remember that as this club was being established in 1943, and the chairman has already said that it was the ground upon which courage was incubated, I want all of you who are present here to remember what the men and women who are assembled here were thinking about in those days when not every Nigerian could be allowed in these places. In those days when Africans were considered to be children of a lesser God. In those days when the British were quick to remind us that we were different because we were Hausa, because we were Fulani, because we were Yoruba, because we were Igbo, because we are Kalabari, and they were sowing the seeds of discord that even when we regained our independence, we would not last for too long. We must ask ourselves what was going on in their minds. And those of you who are students of history will remember in 1945 in Manchester, in the United Kingdom, when Africans in the continent and those in the diaspora met for the first time and were talking about Pan-Africanism, Nigeria was ably represented in that forum by Obafemi Awolowo. And if you remember what he, among others, said during that period, he was reminding us that once we regained our independence, independence in and of itself was not sufficient. Independence was only going to be the beginning. The question is, did we begin well? Are we running well? Is there a promise for all of us? Is there something to celebrate or something to shout home about? These are the questions that must reside in our minds and in our hearts today. Those of you who are assembled here, when I was making my inquiries, I was told that you are some of the shakers and movers of Nigeria. The question that you must ask, what are you shaking and what are you moving? If you are shaking something, is it something that is going to benefit Nigeria? You must remember, is it your own Chinua Achebe who said that the man or woman who shakes the iroko tree only ends up shaking his buttocks? Is it your buttocks that are shaking, or you are shaking Nigeria? These are the uncomfortable questions that you must face. And you know, as we are assembled here, there is a sense in which there is discomfort in the continent of Africa. We are assembled here in Nigeria, but Africa is not at ease. If you thought Africa was at ease, go to the Sahel. The insurgency is there. The young men and women who are dying on a daily basis. Africa is not at ease. Go to Sudan. There is war. Over 3.5 million internally displaced persons. Africa is not at ease. Go to Somalia. She's not at ease. Go to Central African Republic. She's not at ease. Go to the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of Congo. She's not at ease. Go to southern Cameroons in Ambazonia. She's not at ease. And even when there is no real war, no real conflict, as I speak to you now, for 4 days and 4 nights in Morocco, young men are in the streets. As I speak to you now, young men and young women are in the streets of Luanda in Angola. As I speak to you now, young men are uncomfortable. Something is happening. Not only here in Nigeria, there are places in northern Nigeria where there are no-go zones. That is the reality. So we may sit in the comfort of island club, but this is just but an island. The reality is that it is an island in a sea of sorrow and desperation. The question is, beyond the lamentations, what can we do? We have lamented for too long. We have agonized for too long. Our young men and women are asking, what will we give them? The average age in this assembly, I suspect, is about 55. Our young men and women are not present in this assembly. They'll only watch on television. Where is the baton that we are going to pass over to them? Where is the united country that we are going to pass over to them? What are we doing in our health sector? As a young person, when we read about Nigeria, I read about the University of Ibadan, the University of Nigeria at Nsukka. And I remember those days. People would come from the Arab world to be treated at Ibadan. Today, when a Nigerian with an ability or an African with ability, depending on who colonized you, you run to hospitals in London or Paris or New York or lately Dubai and India. Yet in the intervening period, we have produced doctors in the thousands. Where did we go wrong? Today, as you drive across the continent of Africa, we may talk about the good roads, and I saw some beautiful roads in Akwa Ibom in Uyo. Beautiful. But who constructed them? If it is not Chinese, it is Europeans. In the intervening period, we have produced civil engineers whom, if you do not address as an engineer, he'll have a quarrel with you. What became of us? These are the questions which are uncomfortable, but we must ask. I'm booked in a hotel room here in Lagos. When I look at the free water that is given to me, bottled water, it is avian, a product of Coca-Cola in Lagos, Nigeria, Africa's greatest country, even water. And it's not only in Nigeria, it is in Nairobi, Kenya, it is in Accra, Ghana, it is everywhere, even water, 65 years after independence. When I ask for coffee, I get coffee Nescafe from little Switzerland. That is the state in which we are. What went wrong? Those who love Africa are asking. These are the uncomfortable questions that we must ask. Because if we don't ask them, we'll not get an answer. So we are here to remind ourselves that there is work to be done. How is it that when I was a high school student, the literature that I read was Wole Soyinka with The Road and the Interpreters, with Kongi's Harvest. It is Flora Nwapa that I read with the Furu. It is Chinua Achebe that I read with Things Fall Apart, No Longer at Ease, Antilles in the Savannah. It is Eleki Amadi that I read with The Concubine. Today, when I travel across Africa and I ask, do you know Chinua Achebe? Do you know Wole Soyinka? No, they don't. What happened to us? When I read history, we were taught about Nnamdi Azikiwe, and we called him even in Nairobi, Kenya, Zik of Africa. We were taught about Sir Ahmadu Bello, Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, Obafemi Awolowo. Later we learned about Olusegun Obasanjo. Agui Ronzi, whether you like them or not is a different debate, but we were taught them. Today, you go to the capitals of Africa, you go to Benin, and you ask the Beninois, who is the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 8 out of 10 do not know and perhaps do not care. What became of us? Why is it? Last week, there was the United Nations General Assembly. Even when the President of the United States of America was insulting everybody, African leaders sat there. But when their fellow African head of state is talking, they are busy doing other things. Who cast us? Who bewitched us? These are the uncomfortable questions that we must ask here. We have been too nice to each other for too long. The net effect is that if you go into any African environment, if you go to any African school and you ask young men and women, do you want to leave Africa? 9 of them want to run away. That is why they are dying in the Mediterranean Sea. That is why they are dying off the coast of Senegal. That is why they are being humiliated at embassies. You go to the embassy of any Western country, in any African country, and you'll see the humiliation. They ask you, even your great-great-grandmother, who died long before you are conceived as an idea. Those are the circumstances in which we find ourselves. On average, many of you who are present here, allow me to be morbid, in the next 40 years, you'll be upstairs. The question is, what are you leaving for your children and children's children? What is it? These are the questions. These are the uncomfortable questions that we must ask. And these questions must be answered by Nigeria primarily. I've said not once, not twice, but times without number, that the day Nigeria wakes up, that is the day Africa wakes up. You know, a friend of mine once told me, if you go anywhere in the world and you do not find a Nigerian, run out of that place. There is nothing there. And those of you who have had occasion to travel, you go to different parts of the world, you look for the best doctors, Nigerian. Look for the best engineers, Nigerians. Look for some of the best lawyers, Nigerians. The Nigerians are everywhere doing great things across the continent of Africa. And whenever Nigeria has decided to provide leadership, Africa has changed. You ask the Liberians with ECOMOG. When Nigeria stood up, that country was stabilized. When there was mischief in Banjul in the Gambia, and Nigeria stood up, that country was stabilized. When Nigeria did not do as well as she should have done in the Sahel, the problem is not stabilized. The question is, why is Nigeria a reluctant leader? Nigeria should be the leader economically. You know, when Nigerians say, and they debate with South Africa, and sometimes with Egypt, which is the biggest of the economies, I laugh. I laugh because the economies that they are talking about using the unreliable GDP, but we must use it, is that Nigeria is 500 billion USD GDP with a population of over 200 million. Singapore, which is smaller than Lagos, with a population of 6 million, has a GDP of 564 billion. So the debate between Nigeria and Egypt and South Africa is a debate between two dwarfs as to which one is the taller of them. Even if one is taller than the other, they are still dwarfs. The day that I will celebrate Nigeria is the day Nigeria tells me we are 2 trillion economy, and Nigeria can achieve it. And Nigeria must achieve it. What does Nigeria not have? Is the oil that is produced in Nigeria different from the oil that is produced in Saudi Arabia? Is it different than the oil that is produced in Kuwait, that is produced in Bahrain, that is produced in Qatar? Why must Nigeria not be the leader that has pipelines across the continent of Africa? Why can she not do it? She can. But we have allowed ourselves to be paralyzed by analysis and to be paralyzed by lamentation. It is your own kinsman, Chinua Achebe, who said that adversity is a problem of humanity, but we must never allow ourselves to be the victims or the agents of adversity. We must allow ourselves to be the conquerors of adversity, Chinua said. And I remember so very vividly in 1983 when Chinua Achebe wrote the little book, The Trouble with Nigeria, and he simply said that the problem with Nigeria, and he there said the rest of Africa, is simply and squarely one of leadership. And his leadership at all levels. Many times we think that politics is the only side of leadership. No. Leadership is at all levels. Why can't you, if you've run this beautiful club for 82 years and run it well, why can't that be upscaled and replicated in every other sector of Nigeria? Why? Why is it that in this micro environment, You do not care who is who. In this club, everybody has a sense of esprit de corps, a sense of camaraderie. You do not care from which ethnicity you come from. But when you want to run the club that is Nigeria, you now talk tribe, you now talk religion. Why? These are the uncomfortable questions that you must confront, because if you do not confront them, then Nigeria and Africa will continue to punch below her weight. I'm suggesting to you that the time is now that we must ask ourselves what it is that we can do. We have lamented for too long. Let us now ask ourselves what it is that Nigeria can do in the area of education. You know, many of you who are present in this assembly may be described as upper middle class or the top class. You are the best of the best. You are the crème de la crème of Nigeria. And when you are the crème de la crème of Nigeria, it means you are also the crème de la crème of Africa. But the question is, does Africa feel you? Does Africa feel you in the area of education? You know, not so long ago, I was at an African university. And at that university, they said that their greatest desire was that they wanted to be like Harvard and Cambridge. And I said, why do you want to be like Harvard? Why do you want to be like Cambridge? Why can't you not just be you? One of the things that we Africans must do is to exercise the ghost of low self-esteem and to wear the spirit of self-belief. The day we do that, that is the day that Africa will begin to grow. One of the things that gladdens my heart when I come to Africa, to West Africa, and particularly to Nigeria, is the manner in which the Nigerians dress. It gives one authenticity. It gives one confidence. But the question that I ask, are the clothes made in Nigeria? And if they are not made in Nigeria, it means the jobs are not in Nigeria. We have exported all our jobs to China. I'm asking us that if Africa and Nigeria is to be resuscitated to realize our potential, I want to see Nigeria grow in higher education. The other area in which Nigeria must provide leadership is in the area of the economy. You know, not so long ago, Nigeria was just about to provide leadership once again. And there was going to be a currency in this region called the Eco. And we were all happy, those of us who love the continent of Africa. We were looking forward to the day when you would come here and I would have the Eco, not the dollar. Something happened. I'm asking you who are shakers and movers. Shake those who are in government. Honorable Governor, Deputy Governor, ask yourself, 20 years from today, when you are no longer governor and history is written about you, what will they say? What will they say of your watch? What did you deliver? What did your administration deliver? History is harsh. It passes verdict that is without emotion. I'm asking all of us who are present here to ask those uncomfortable questions in the area of the economy. I'm asking those of us who are here to ask in the area of health. Why is it that young Africans are still dying of diseases that were conquered by Europe 100 years ago? What is happening to us? Why is it that when we have COVID, we have to import things from China? What became of our pharmaceutical industries? What became of our research institutes? Why do we pay our academics a pittance peanuts while our thieves thrive? Why? These are the questions that we must ask. We are talking at a time when we are talking about the Africa Agenda 2063 and Africa Continental Free Trade Area. What are we going to trade in if we are not manufacturing? A friend of mine, whom I met when I was being brought to this site, former military general, as we were moving, for some reason he said about electricity, that electricity in Nigeria is epileptic. And it is epileptic indeed. Not only in Nigeria, everywhere. There is not a single place that you travel to Africa in today and you are in a hotel room, within 1 hour electricity has gone. Electricity is not rocket science. But for some reason, we are unable to supply stable electricity. Who cast us? Who bewitched us? That we cannot do what must be done. These are the questions. Ladies and gentlemen, I know it ought to be celebration, but how can I speak the language of a wedding at a funeral? I refuse to do so. And I'll not speak for too long either, because the issues that I'm raising are known. They are known because they have been spoken about. They are known because your former leaders have spoken about them. If you look at the writings of your former presidents, the statements of your politicians, the writings of Olusegun Obasanjo in his book, My Watch, he says, among other things, that potential is nothing if it is not realized. I look at the early statements of Sahamadu Bello, the early statements of Obafemi Awolowo, the early statements of MKO Abiola, the early statements of the two Ojukus, the father and the son. And I ask myself, what can we do now? And I know what we can do. The first thing that we must do today to commemorate the 65 years since Nigeria regained independence is for Nigeria and Nigerians to make a solemn resolve that is no longer business as usual. That from today on, Nigeria is going to provide leadership. That she's going to provide leadership in the economic arena. That we are going to hear more Nigerians talk about the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. That we are going to hear Nigerians talking about the diversification of the economy. That we are going to hear Nigeria talk about agriculture. That we are going to hear Nigeria saying that we are no longer going to import our chicken from Brazil. That we are no longer going to import our rice from Pakistan. That we are no longer going to have on our tables anything called English tea. That we are no longer going to have Nescafe on our table. That we are no longer going to import palm oil from Malaysia, that we are going to diversify our economy, that we are going to revive our leather industry, that we are going to revive our industry so that we can create jobs here, that Nigeria is going to be open space for the rest of Africa, that Nigeria is not going to ask for visas, that Nigeria is not going to ask me for a landing pass when I come to Nigeria. How can the mother country ask me for a landing pass? That Nigeria is not going to ask me for visas when I come here. This is our Mecca, so to speak, and we should be able to come here without any hindrance whatsoever. Nigeria must do that if the continent of Africa is to realize our potential. And I'm suggesting that you must also open up your education. Our young men and women who are going to study in Europe and America, if there were no ASU strikes, we would be coming to Ibadan. We would be coming to Nsuka. We would be coming to the Lagos School of Business. We have enough intellectuals to make us come here. And you can make the money through education. I'm suggesting that you can do that. I'm also suggesting that your airline must now be revived. Nigeria cannot be a country without an airline. How can it be? It can be done. There are many Nigerians. When I see Air Peace, when I see Air Bomb, I know that it can be done. This is the time for it to be done. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish not to speak for too long. Let me now move toward the conclusion, because conclude I must. We are at a difficult time in Africa, and that time can only be resolved if we make a solemn resolve. Today, we must remember the words of those who are in the forefront of leadership. Today, I remember the words of a great South African, a man who you must know, Pixley Kaisa Kaseme. Speaking in the year 1906, he said that Africa must be regenerated. And I'm suggesting that it is Nigeria that must be in the forefront of the regeneration of Africa. I'm also hearing it being said in 1957, on the 6th day of March 1957, the Osage for Kwame Nkrumah said that the independence of Ghana meant nothing. Today I'm saying that the new liberation of Africa will only happen if Nigeria is in the forefront. I'm urging you, you movers and shakers, go out there and move and shake the political leadership so that they are able to do that which is good and right. You have the ability, because if you don't do it, history will judge you harshly. Lastly, I want to conclude with these words of James M. and Kweji Ragri of Ghana, who said that we are eagles, but we have been fed on chicken feed for too long. Let us today abandon chicken feed. Let us become eagles that we may fly. We are lions who have had the taste for rats for too long. The time is now that we must reacquire the taste for antelopes. Only then will our lionhood be manifest. And I conclude with these words of Wole Soyinka, that a tiger does not shout about his tigritude. You follow the path of a tiger and you see a duiker dead, and you know that some tigritude has emanated from there. So go out there and be what you must, lions. Go out there and be what you must, tigers. Go out there and be what you must, eagles. It can be done and it must be done, and it's you whom are movers and shakers who must do it. God bless you.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause